Paul Singer, Vista Equity Partners, Robert Smith, Fidelity Investments, Abigail Johnson, MasterCard, Visa, Chubb, Sequoia, Stevens, Warren Stevens, great. Charles Schwab, Chuck Schwab, will be here by phone. Food and Beverage National Restaurant Association, McDonald's, Darden Restaurants, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Chick-fil-A, Subway, Bloomin' Brands, Yum Brands, Papa John's, Wendy's, Waffle House, Starbucks, Wolfgang Pup, Thomas Keller, Jean George, my friend Jean George, and Danielle. You know them. From the transportation world, FedEx, Fred Smith, a legend, United Airlines, Oscar Munoz, UPS, David Abney, JB Hunt, YRC Worldwide, Crowley, Maritime, incredible, big, powerful shippers and transportation companies. In telecommunications, we have the legendary John Malone of Liberty Media, Verizon, T-Mobile, Charter Communications, and Brian Roberts of Comcast. Thank you all very much. Healthcare, New York Presbyterian, Jerry Spire, friend of mine, HCA Healthcare, Sam Hazen, thank you, Sam. Just met with Sam. Ascension Health, Common Spirit Health, Community Health Systems, Trinity Health, Cardinal Health, McKesson, 3M. Thank you, Mike Roman, for helping us with face masks. It worked out well for everybody. Procter & Gamble, Abbott Laboratories, Johnson & Johnson, Merck, Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Thermo Fisher Scientific. They've been helping us incredibly with testing. Gilead Sciences, Abivax, Regeneron, Biogen, Roche, and Roche has been fantastic on testing. The job they've done, I have to call them out. They have stepped up like very few. Anthem, United Health Group, Aetna, Cigna, and Humana, all the big ones. The tech companies, we have the right ones. Apple, we have Tim Cook. Google, Sundar, thank you, Sundar. Oracle, Larry Ellison, Safra Katz. Salesforce, Mark Bedanoff. SAP, Jen Morgan. Microsoft, Satya, great job he's done. Thank you, Satya. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. IBM, Intel, Qualcomm, Cisco, Advanced Micro Devices, Broadcom. Incredible companies that no other country will catch if they're smart. They have to be smart. But I've dealt with a lot of different countries, and I will say that the respect for Silicon Valley and our tech companies, there's nobody even close to our tech companies. They can't catch them, so they try and buy them. But we've sort of put an end to a lot of that. In sports, we want to get our sports back. So importantly, these will be some separate calls. Some will be together, by the way, lists, and some will be separate. But we have to get our sports back. I'm tired of watching baseball games that are 14 years old. But I haven't actually had too much time to watch. I would say maybe I watch one batter and then I get back to work. The NBA, Adam Silver. The Major League Baseball. We miss our baseball. This is baseball season right here. Rob Manfred, thank you very much. NFL, Roger Goodell, thank you, Roger. UFC, Dana White. Great Dana White. PGA, Jay Moynihan. LPGA, Michael Wan. USTA, Patrick Galbraith. Major League Soccer, Don Garber. WWE, the great Vince McMahon. NASCAR, Lisa Kennedy. Thank you, Lisa. NHL, Gary Bettman. From the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft. Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban. and some of the thought leaders that we're going to have, and there are some others that we are having, we're just waiting to hear, but everybody's saying yes, I must say. John Ellison, Heritage Foundation, Kay Cole James, great person. Hoover Institute, Condoleezza Rice, another great person. Art Laffer, Steve Moore, Steve Forbes, Larry Lindsay, Catherine Reynolds, Scott Gottlieb, just spoke with Scott, Jim DeMint, and Jim has been a terrific friend, Bill Haggerty and Ray Washburn. And religious leaders will be coming on Friday. We'll be speaking to, and we're going to have a separate list, but we have tremendous enthusiasm to meet by our great religious leaders. We have incredible people, and they want to be a part. And we'll be talking about churches, and we'll be talking about opening, and we'll be talking about things that are very important to a lot of people, including me. We're going to find out how we're doing in that regard. So those are the names that we have on our list. They're the names that are, I think, the best and the smartest, the brightest, and they're going to give us some ideas. But we're all set, as I said. The governors are going to be opening up their states. They're going to declare when. They're going to know when. Some can open very, very shortly, if not almost immediately. We'll give a date, but the date's going to be in the very near future. So we'll get it open. Individual states, when the governors will be held accountable. If they need things, we'll help them get those things, but we want them to do their testing. We want them because they're equipped to do testing. We've created incredible tests, and we've done more testing than anybody's ever done in the world right now. And we had a broken system, and now we have a great system. We have a system where other countries are coming to us and saying, we want to get some of those tests. I want to thank Abbott, because Abbott came up with the first simpler test. The first one was rough. I think it was more of an operation than a test. The first one was for anybody that took it. It was not easy. But now we have a very simple test with Abbott. Now we have saliva. We have lots of other things that are happening, but we have millions of tests. The governors are responsible. They have to take charge. They have to do a great job. And we're going to suggest that they check people through tests or otherwise coming into their states, and they run their states very strong. Eventually, we won't have to do that. Eventually, this will be gone. But for a while, we're going to do it. So they're going to take charge at their borders. They're going to take charge of people coming in, and maybe to an extent, depending on what they work out with a nearby state, it may be also people leaving. And they'll be able to do that very shortly. We'll be announcing a date, but it'll be very short. And frankly, it'll be at a time that will be earlier than the deadline that we imposed, the end of April. So we think that some of the governors will be in really good shape to open up even sooner than that. We'll speak to them, but we're all set. We're counting on the governors to do a great job. Others are going to have to take a longer period of time until they're in a position to say we're ready to go, and that's okay. We understand that. Some of the governors have a very tough situation, but in almost all cases, it's all starting to come down. We're very proud of the job everybody's done. And if you look at the numbers, so the minimum, as portrayed, Deborah's here, Dr. Birx has been fantastic. The minimum was 100,000 deaths, and I hope to be substantially under the minimum, meaning we all hope, Mike, right? We all hope to be substantially under. We did the right thing because otherwise it would have been, the projections are 2 million people. The actual projection was 2.2 million people. And if you cut it in half, that would be 1.1 million people. That's many more. That's double the Civil War. And if you cut that in half, you're talking 500,000 or 600,000 people. That's what we lost in the Civil War. And that's cutting it. And we're not going to, that would not be acceptable. It would not be acceptable. One life isn't acceptable, but we weren't given that option. So I'm confident that these respected people that I just read from the list will give us some great ideas in addition to what the governors have learned. The governors have learned a lot. I've spoken to governors that at the beginning it was a contentious relationship, and now it's a very friendly relationship and a really great relationship. And I'm proud to say that some of them I think are friends. In some cases they're Democrats, but I think they like me and I actually like them. I'll tell you who they are someday. But we're all getting along and we all want to do the right thing. And I think they're going to do a great job of leading their individual states. It'll be a beautiful thing to watch. They'll go and rely on their mayors and their local town officials. They bring it right down. And Washington shouldn't be doing that. We can't be thinking about a Walmart parking lot that's 2,000 miles away where we're doing testing, but a governor of a state can and a mayor can, and right down the line. So it's going to be, I think it's going to be a terrific system. And if we're unhappy with the state, we're going to let them know we're unhappy. And if they're not doing the job and they can't get the job done, and for some reason things are happening that we're not going to like the numbers are heading in a wrong direction, we'll have to do something that's very serious. We'll have to maybe close them up and start all over again. But I don't think we're going to have to do that. I think the governors are going to come out at a time that, and these will be individual dates, and the governors are going to come out at a time when they're ready. Some can come out very, very shortly. And we look forward to watching that process. I think it's going to be a very beautiful process. Our discussions will focus with the people that we're dealing with on rejuvenating the economy and always health, always health. Health and life living is number one, but the rejuvenated economy, and I think it's going to go quickly. We'll be utilizing our robust testing capacity for the governors. We'll be giving them what they need if they don't have it themselves. We hope by now they'll be able to have it themselves. We were hoping they would have had it themselves early on, but they weren't. But such great advances have been made. So we'll be dealing with them on that. And they can rely on us very strongly. They're going to be relying on us, I think, for some help. And we're there, whether it's building hospital beds, which I don't think they're going to need. You look at Javits Center, a great, great job that the Army Corps of Engineers did. FEMA got involved. We actually ended up sending our medical people. That was not a COVID-19 center, and they asked, could you do that? And then even after we did that, it was not used very much, meaning they didn't have to use it nearly to the extent that they thought when they conceived it. It wasn't that they made a mistake. Nobody made a mistake. We built it. I'd rather have too much than too little. Err on the side of caution. And it's really incredible what they did, including the two ships, the two great ships. And I just want to thank a lot of really great people, a lot of great politicians. And again, we're going to be announcing the political list tomorrow. And on there, we're going to have a lot of senators. And we're going to be having a meeting with the governors probably on Thursday, a meeting by teleconference. And a lot of things will be discussed and some of the details will be discussed. But we want them to do an incredible job.